Hello, everyone. Rooster Teeth is sponsored by ExpressVPN. They're the fastest VPN we've ever used. Try them out at expressvpn.com/RTTV. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Barbara.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Kayla.
What's up? It's your boy. It's me. Back from the dungeons of content land. It's Mariel.
Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback.
We've been here for years. Whoa. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome. Before we get into the podcast, I feel like there's something we need to address. Guss Sorola, lovely birthday boy, is not here today. He's taking the week off for his birthday. So I thought we would all make a wish on behalf of Guss Sorola for his birthday, and I will blow out the candles. So, Gavin, if you would like to give a wish for Guss.
What? I better say it out loud?
Yeah.
I hope he stops getting hassled by the wildlife in his back garden.
Kayla?
I hope that he remains as effervescent as always.
Beautiful. Mariel?
I hope all of Gus's male Pisces dreams in 2021 come true.
Amen. All right, Guss. Happy birthday, buddy.
Is that a prayer or a...
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah, I guess so.
How old is Guss today? Do you guys know?
He's 60.
Timeless.
I was going to say flat
According
60.
to the chat, he is 23. Which,
23.
oof.
Is he? He's not 50 yet. No, I think he's still in his mid 40s. I legitimately don't know. I feel like a terrible friend.
The name of this
It gets to the
episode
point-
is The Gang Gets Fired.
It just gets to the point where you just start rounding to the nearest zero. You've been alive so long, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's
Hold
true.
on, I'm going to figure this out.
The thing that really scares me is that I met Guss when he was younger than I am now. So that means one day I will be Guss's age, and that terrifies me.
He's a hot 43.
Hot 43.
Hot 43.
A tight 43, just like this
Wikipedia.
episode, just like Barb asked for.
He'll probably be pissed that you rounded up 7 years, Barbara.
He might be. He also might be pissed at the fact that I thought his middle name was ugly.
What?
Because I wanted his initials to spell out Gus, and I couldn't think of a U name, so I just said that his middle name was ugly. So it'd be Guss Ugly Sorola.
Might be one of the few times I've seen Gus offended.
Oh my god. That is amazing.
Oh my god. All right. Well, we have some new guests on the show today. We got Kayla and Meryl. You've been on the podcast before, so you're an old vet at this time. So
He's a new old guest.
new old
I'm
guest.
old hat.
Yeah. Hey, Barbara.
Happy to be here.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for filling in for Gus. Both of you make one Gus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you add us up and you divide by the lowest common denominator, we do equal one Sorola. That is how the math comes out. Absolutely.
Who knew to get one middle-aged Mexican man,
Yes.
you need a black lesbian
Yeah.
and a Mexican lesbian. Roll those two together.
Yeah. Because the two lesbians cancel out. And then
Right.
there's something, I think it's like an exponent. I don't know. I'm gay. I can't do math. So,
It cancels out like it becomes straight.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like when you have
two
double
negatives
negatives.
make a positive, you know? Yeah. There you go.
Two gays make a het.
I don't know if we want to like plug your show right away too, or if we want to save it for the end. But
No, we gotta make sure everybody likes me first. I don't want to shout it out at the top and bomb, and they know I'm attached to it.
I ended up doing assessment towards the end. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, do people like Kayla right now? Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Chat, how we give me F's in chat if I'm doing good. Just 45
Yeah.
minutes.
Can we
in.
get a poll going?
Yeah, throw it up on the screen. Just do like
Kayla,
RTX.
yes or no?
how about
Kayla,
if
yes or no?
at a certain point in the podcast, let's say like 5:45,
Yeah,
we're gonna ask for everyone's ratings in chat of
Yeah.
how they would rate Kayla.
Yeah.
And based on that, we'll plug your
yeah,
podcast.
and not in a
This is
hot or not way,
dangerous.
please. I don't need that again. The trauma.
What do you mean again?
We don't have to talk about it.
Did
Listen.
you guys ever do those hot or not like websites when you were a teenager or a preteen or whenever that thing came out?
I didn't put myself on there.
Is this someone
Oh,
else?
no. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
still participate in hot or nots, like on like Bachelor always does like stuff with the Bachelor contestants. I'm always. Ooh, they're blowing up.
F's in
There's
chat.
so many
Yeah,
F's
a
in
lot of
chat
F's
for you,
in
my
chat.
dude.
Tidal
One
wave
W,
Fs.
F off.
But
Sorry,
no,
what
you
were
guys
saying?
didn't do the hot
Oh,
or
I was
not.
just. I was just saying. I still participate in Hot or Not all the time.
Like
Classic game.
There's this I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm obsessed with like incel culture. I know I consider myself a scholar on incels, and there are several subreddits that I follow just to like keep up with all the hot goss. And one of them is called the Glow Up, and it is literally just like girls 16 to 21 being like, should I get like plastic surgery? And I'm like, you should finish going through puberty. Like, you're literally just a child. Like, no one, like, you're not supposed to be attractive at 16. I'm sorry that you think you're supposed to look like the cast of Riverdale, but they're all 35, and that's why you and the boys at your school don't look like that. It's the most depressing thing I've ever seen, because they're just like, they're just like, should I get rhinoplasty? And I'm like, that's your baby nose. Like, you gotta let your face grow into it, you know?
But kids like that, like teenagers, are so put together nowadays. I don't know how
depressing.
they do it. It's so scary.
It's
like,
Instagram.
Yeah, I guess it's like social media and like just being able to easily compare yourself, except for like not just the people you go to school with, but everyone in the fucking world.
Hear me out. I feel like when I was in middle school, if you wanted to be cool, you looked at a cool kid at your school, did what they did, you watched like MTV, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't cool. Or you like got a magazine that was updated once a month to tell you what was going on. And now everything changes every 15 minutes. And then also like you can just use your mom's like credit card that you saved on your MacBook to like buy whatever you want from Forever 21. So I feel like that's why the kids are so much more like well put together now. Cause I'm like looking at a 13, when I was 13, I was like, and this is my camp shirt and I'm wearing it with my cargo capris and my Converse. And this is a look. I'm serving.
We would have been friends.
And then kids today are just like, my face is beat. My mom bought me Fenty, and I look cooler than you. And I'm just like, all right, that's weird. I don't care for it. I wish this wasn't happening.
It's true. I mean, it's true though. Like back in our day, we had like 17 magazine telling us what was cool, and you would get. I remember getting 17 magazine every month. And like reading it religiously, and even reading, like going to the back end, reading the sex column pieces that were like how to give your boyfriend like the best blowjob of the world, which was like not advice that I ever needed to know, but it was still something that I was like, oh, I need to go and check and see what the column is these days. And it's just like, I don't know, things are so accessible for children and for kids that they can, and I think like that Gen Z is very like my niece and my nephew and like all of my cousins' kids. Like they all want to be YouTubers. That's like their goal. They're like, oh, I want to be a streamer. I want to be a YouTuber. I want to do YouTube. Like my 6-year-old niece doesn't even know any like how to do that. But like anytime she records a video or like her mom records a video of her, she's always like, hey guys, like welcome back to my channel. And she's like, you're 6. You don't have a channel.
Listen, life is just one extended Black Mirror episode. And I think we all just need to come to terms with that. That's the way it is.
I think you're right, Kayla. I really think you're right. The more as time goes on and the more as this pandemic goes on, I really feel like we're living in an episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah, it's honestly at this point where I'm at in 2021, if this was a movie, I'd be like, that's a bit heavy-handed and unbelievable. The writing sucks. Like, I'd be like, oh, haven't you heard of an allegory before? You're kind of hitting it on the nose. And I'm just like, everything's just,
I can't imagine like having my consciousness live on for all eternity.
Gross.
That seems like pure torture.
If you could live forever, but you had the option of doing yourself in at any point, how long do you think you would go? 400 years and then just call it a day?
I think like 250, 300, maybe.
You think that's a good lifespan for a human?
I feel, because I feel like at that point you're like, all right, I get it. I'm good. It's funny you bring this up, Gavin. I was literally having this exact conversation with Trevor this weekend where I was just like, man, I wish like we could all be immortal and that we could just choose. I'd like to have the option to choose when to like end it, because I don't think there's any more torture than like being able to live forever but not being able to die ever.
Ugh.
Yeah,
that's torture.
That's way too long. No way. Well, it also depends if am I the only one? Like, Or does Hannah get to live as long? Because if Hannah gets to live that long,
you could choose 5 people to bring along with you.
I think it should be everyone. Imagine a universe where everyone has it.
But then what do you do with the babies? Because then they just grow up and become immortal, and then it's just so many people.
Oh, no, then we,
What if there's a cap? It's like at 300, if you're not dead, you have to die.
I think also
like the movie Midsommar.
I think another stipulation though has to be you get to choose the age where you stop physically aging.
Ooh,
right? Like that definitely has to be.
I missed the boat.
Yeah, I think I did too. I would have chosen like 24. That was good.
I think it would be sad because I think a lot of couples would want to go out at the same time. Like if you could just choose.
Mm-hmm.
But then you'd have to wait for both people to be ready. You'd have to discuss it. It'd be like when all those people in cults just drink the death juice.
Like Midsommar.
It'd be really weird to go out with someone.
You could like notebook it is what it's called, right?
Notebook
you go out
it?
at the same time. Yeah.
Oh,
I've never seen that. What happens?
Should I spoil it for you?
Bit
I
of
guess it's been
spoiler.
like 25 years.
I'm like, the movie's older than me, I think.
Yeah. Not actually 25. At the end of the movie, if you haven't seen The Notebook and you're listening to this right now, block your ears for like
Jump
5
ahead
seconds.
3 minutes, guys. Time code in the blink.
They essentially fall asleep and die together at the same time. So
How do they do that though?
Yeah.
well, because
Is it like rabbits?
they're both sick. She's dying. I think he goes to lie down with her, and then they just both pass away at the same time.
I mean, has that ever happened in real life?
I actually just heard a story yesterday about a couple who were high school sweethearts, and they both contracted COVID, and they both passed away within 19 hours of each other.
Oh God,
So,
it's tragic.
I mean, it's tragic, but it's,
That's
I guess
literally like rabbits.
With an illness.
it's, people say that you can die of a broken heart. And that's like Carrie Fisher, right?
Oh,
she passed away. Days later, her mom dies.
Yeah.
Because she was literally like, okay, well, what's the point of me being here?
I believe it. It's, if your body or your soul or whatever you want to call it is kind of just fighting to keep going, and then you lose the person you love the most, and then you just kind of like stop fighting. You stop the will to live kind of thing. And I don't know. It's
Barbara, are you a Cancer?
Tragic, but kind of beautiful. What?
Are you a Cancer?
I am a Cancer.
Yes!
That didn't take long at all.
No.
You didn't even have to get her drunk.
No, that's for the rising and moon. I just got her sun sign.
Oh yeah, no, you can clock sun signs.
Instantly.
Man, that was impressive.
Thank you.
I wish I didn't tell you Gavin so that you'd be able to guess this podcast.
Oh no, I don't know if an hour wouldn't be long enough. Fiona's
Careful
a
though,
Cancer.
don't talk about astrology.
Oh yeah,
I learned the hard way.
Yeah, we got an astrology cap. Fiona's a Cancer, love of my life. God, I love that woman. That's it. That's all I was gonna say. I was just thinking about Fiona. It's fine.
Hey guys, it's Barbara, not Gus. But I'm here to tell you that this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is sponsored by Stamps.com. One thing I've learned over the years is that the internet is even more awesome than we thought. Groceries online, movies online, doctor's visits online, and of course, going to the post office online with Stamps.com. Stamps.com allows you to mail and ship anytime, anywhere, right from your computer. Send letters, ship packages, and pay a lot less with discounted rates from USPS, UPS, and more. With Stamps.com, you get the service of the post office and UPS all in one place. Plus, big discounts on mailing and shipping rates. I'm a very busy person, of course, as you guys all know. So that's why Stamps.com hasn't just saved me money, but most importantly, it saved me time. I love my time. And I could do it all right from the comfort of my own computer right here where you see me sitting right now. Stamps.com brings the service of the U.S. Postal Service and UPS right to your computer. Stamps.com is a must-have for any business, whether you're a small office sending out invoices, an online seller shipping out orders, or even a giant warehouse sending thousands of packages a day. Stamps.com can handle all of it with ease. Simply use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, and any class of mail, anywhere you want to send. Once your mail is ready, just schedule a pickup or drop it off. It's that simple. With Stamps.com, you get discounts up to 40% off, post office rates, and up to 62% off UPS shipping rates. Not to mention Stamps.com is a fraction of the cost of those expensive postage meters. It's a no-brainer, ladies and gentlemen, saving you time and money. It's no wonder nearly 1 million small businesses already use Stamps.com. Stop wasting time, go into the post office and go to Stamps.com instead. There's no risk, and with our promo code Rooster, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in Rooster. That's Stamps.com, promo code Rooster. Stamps.com, never go to the post office again. Now back to the show. Do you guys, this is a bit of a gruesome topic, but do you guys ever like talk with any of your partners about like how you want to go out together? Like essentially like,
No.
like we're gonna, let's spend the next 250 years together and then notebook it right at the end.
I mean, Hannah and I always say like we would not be able to live without each other. Like 100%. Like if something happens to her, you got 24 hours to say goodbye to me because I'm out. There's no point.
Yeah.
That's you guys.
Gab, is that something you and Meg ever talk about?
Nah. Well, nah. bit dark.
Yeah, it's very dark.
Bit of a downer. I mean, there's already enough downers, I think. Maybe when things are nicer and better in the world.
Yeah, it's true. Gotta balance that out.
Speaking of downers.
Kayla.
Knocked it out of the park with that one. Is it apocalypse time?
It's apocalypse time, I think.
Ice-pocalypse, apocalypse. I've been calling it the apopo because I refuse to call the pandemic the pandemic. I say the panty. So I figured I could shorten this one too and call it the apopo.
Like that.
It was okay. So basically, I wasn't in Austin proper. I was like an hour south in this like tiny town called Wimberley, in an Airbnb. And because sometimes you just got to get out of town. Too much hustle, too much bustle. Sometimes you want to get drunk in a place that isn't your own living room. It's someone else's living room that you're paying $200 a night to stay in. So I was in this Airbnb and we were supposed to be there from Thursday to Sunday. So check out Sunday morning. I don't know if you know this about Sunday morning, but everything was covered in ice. I've never scraped ice off of my windshield before. I had to do it for the first time. Don't have an ice scraper because I live in fucking Texas. Why would I have one? So what I did was the Airbnb had like one of those like, it's like to chop meat. So like a knife, but like the little like blade thingies. So I used that to like scrape the ice off my window. I had to fucking kick ice off my tires. It was terrifying. Tried to pull out of the driveway and my tires just spin. Like they just spin on the ice because it's a slight incline. It's like a fucking like 10-degree incline, and my car just said no. Fiona had also tried. I was with Fiona. She had also tried to leave. Her car ended up in a ditch on the side of the road. She had to like hitchhike back. It was a whole thing. And then she had to like they couldn't make it down the hill because also our Airbnb was like it's the middle of fucking nowhere. So it's like all these windy, hilly roads, and we were at the bottom of a hill. So the dude was like, I can't take you down there. So she dropped her off at the top of the hill. She had to like walk down. We ended up being stuck in there from Sunday until I think we left Friday morning. Okay, so we didn't have enough food. We had literally just thrown away all the food because we were like, we're going home. So like the raccoon that I am, I had to go out into the trash can and I was able to salvage like half a box of pancake mix. We had 15 potatoes, a bag of Brussels sprouts, and like half of a thing of asparagus. And I was just like, all right, here we go. And like a quarter of a bottle of tequila. That's very important.
Thank God. Okay. No, I was going to ask about the alcohol.
Yeah, not enough. I'll tell you that. There was also a hot tub, sick. But hot tubs don't work when there's no power, which is we were going through, they were doing like rolling blackouts. So we were at like 2 hours of power, 6 hours of no power, 2 hours of power. Don't know what's going to happen. So that happened. We were running out of food. We couldn't use the heat because they were out of propane because we were running the fireplace all weekend because it was cold and it's vacation. And then like, once we realized we were stranded, the dude was like, okay, so you guys ran the fireplace a lot. So you're down to like, the tank is down to 15%. So no heat. You can't use the fireplace, and the stove, you can use the stove, but you can't use the oven. So between that, the power going out, and not having food, shit got a little, it could have been worse. I was not sober most of the time on different substances, so like it was like more fine than it probably could have been otherwise. And then like there was one day during the week where it got warm enough. No, actually what I think what happened was snow came and like insulated the ground, so it kept it from freezing over the next day, and we were able to make it to an HEB. So I was able to buy groceries on like the fourth day that we were like stuck in this fucking Airbnb. So we were able to get like food that wasn't potatoes, asparagus, and Brussels sprouts eventually.
Oh, thank God.
But then
at any point, did Fiona start to look like, you know, like a cartoon where she just started to look like a ham or like a big chicken?
Well, yeah, but that was because of the shrooms, not because of the hunger. And then like there was a point, like I went and got the food, but like the HEB was obviously, they were cleared out of meat. So the only meat that I could buy was like these fucking, I spent $70 on 4 filet mignons because that was the only meat that was left, and 2 lamb shanks that I couldn't even cook because you gotta slow cook them because the meat's so tough, but you can't slow cook when the propane is down to 5%. So I think our second to last day we were down to 2% propane in the tank, and the dude was like, yo, somebody's coming tonight, they're filling it back up like at least halfway, you guys can turn the heat on. We didn't have hot water the entire time. I've never been so, we had this big pot that up until that point we'd been like using to make pasta in, or potatoes or whatever. And we were boiling water in this pot and taking it up to the shower upstairs because it was like the warmest floor because the heat was rising and warming the tiles of the shower on the floor, and just like bathing out of this boiled pot of water. It was disgusting.
Kayla, are you okay?
No, I'm fine.
Like,
here's the thing.
They had trauma bonded.
Yeah, we all trauma bonded, so that's cool. And then like, we trauma bonded. Luckily for me, my dad's got fucking like, he's always ready for everything. So I'm always ready for everything. So like I had like a generator in my car. I had like water. I had snacks. Like that was like good. I had gotten new tires the day before I drove there because I was just like, I'm going to a different city. One of my tires is a slow leak. I'll just get new tires. Thank God I did that, because without those, I don't think we would have been able to make it to HEB. It like, you know, it was fine. I'm fine.
Did you get pissed off with each other?
No, that's the crazy part. We just got closer.
Did you have to get physically closer to stay warm?
Oh yeah, there was a point where it was just like it's like everybody was just like under a blanket, like on the couch, and it was just like we're all gonna have to sleep in one bed at one point, but it didn't get to that. But yeah, it was okay. It could have been worse.
You sent Hannah and I a message, and you said, I can't remember what exactly it was, but you were basically like, we're stranded, we can't get back to Austin, like. And, you know, Fiona's car, it's not working. We can't get out of here. And so I kept on texting you and checking in with you because I think you described it perfectly earlier, where it's like you're watching a horror movie and like the first 15 minutes of like, you know, this teenage horror movie, or like a fucking party, or like this like just amazing environment. And then like something happens and you're all fucked.
No, literally, because
that.
Literally, the transition. Okay, I want to set up the good part first, because you need to know how dramatic of a change was. It was Thursday, so like Fiona literally, she had just done the Megan Thee Stallion stream. Like we were fucking psyched. Yeah. Everybody was like she came in the house and we were like, Fiona, you fucking did it. We're all 1 degree away from Megan Thee Stallion now. Like you killed that shit. Here's my laptop. We were taking screenshots like during the stream, and I have a folder that just says Fiona/Megan. It's like 90 screenshots that I took during the stream. We were like, oh, that's so lit. Like, we were like, we're doing shots. We popped a bottle of champagne to celebrate her playing with Megan Thee Stallion. The next day we were like hot tubbing, and it was like, this is so lit. And I was like, yo, we made bacon for breakfast. Like we made a whole pack of bacon for breakfast just because we could. We made pancakes, eggs. Like it was lit. The next day, same shit.
Those things in your mind's mouth, dude, when you guys were eating Brussels sprouts and tequila the rest of the week?
I was so angry. I was like, we didn't need to cook a whole pack of bacon that day. I feel like I threw out 3 slices of bacon. And then there's like another moment where it's just like, God damn, we had the fucking, I threw out that. We could have had that. I'm just like, that's gone. gone. We can't eat that. Dude took the trash out the second to last day, so we lost that stuff. Like, it was like the Rolodex of like hedonism that I was going through in my mind, that I was like, if we hadn't eaten that whole tray of double stuffed Oreos in one day, we could have had some double stuffed Oreos right now. Like, it was the juxtaposition of the first 4 days to the last 5 days was like, I literally was like, this is the part where we get power for an hour and we turn on the news and they're like, local asylum power goes out and everybody got out and there's an axe murderer on the loose. And unrelated, the Home Depot has been robbed of precisely 3 axes, but those 2 things are completely unrelated. Don't worry about it. More at 10. And then the power goes out again. I was full, like, there were like these big windows and I was like, I can't look out that window because if I do, there's going to be a man and I'm not going to be able to handle any of that. And I'm just gonna, there are points like every time the power, I'm like, the most PTSD I have right now is whenever the AC kicks off, I'm like, the power is out, because that was like, the signal was like, you'd hear like the hum of the AC and then it would just be dead silence. And it was just like, fuck.
I want to read this text message between us. This was Monday night at 8 p.m. I said, how are y'all holding up? And you said, our power is out again. I said, bro, what have you been eating? And you said, pussy mostly.
Yeah, that sounds like something I would say.
And then you said, but we also have 5 potatoes and a half pack of asparagus left. It's dire, bro.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
So I'm just so happy that you guys survived and that you're still here to tell the tale. And you had a great time, obviously, and you know who else had a great time during the snowpocalypse was Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz cruised on through. He cruised on through. He had a great time.
But he came back and he delivered a case of water into someone's truck.
Wait, okay, here's the thing with him coming back. He should have been quarantining. That's the whole thing with international travel right now. If you travel internationally, you have to come back and quarantine for 14 days. So, like, does he...
Okay,
listen,
I mean, there's that. There's so many
you could do. There's so many right thing.
There's that. There's the throwing his kids under the bus along with his ugly wife. I didn't say it. Trump did. There's also the part where in the fucking pictures, just like, goddamn, everybody's got these like fucking lines at HEB all the way down the road, 8 blocks down the road. Weirdly empty parking lot for this photo shoot to be happening in. Also, that woman only has nothing in the trunk of her car except this one case of Dasani shit water. Dasani's the worst water in the world. Of Dasani shit water that you're loading into her car for this fucking photo op. It's probably just some woman that they like hired from some casting website in like one of the staffers' car that they pulled into some empty like fucking abandoned parking lot to do this photo shoot in. And if you look in the reflection of the windshield, you can see how empty the parking lot is. If you look through the windows, you can see how empty the parking lot is. And how does that help to put exactly one case of you? He did worse PR than after Houston flooded and Beyonce went down to the food kitchen and was like giving out plates to people at her like old church. Like, that is like what he thought he was doing, and he fully just made himself look so much worse. Like it's like when people like lie online for like clout when they make up an obviously fake story, but like much worse because he put his own shitty photo evidence.
I like to imagine he like dumped the case of water and then just went, let's get out of here. Done.
The juxtaposition of like him like doing this empty-handed, full-handed gesture versus like fucking Beto O'Rourke and AOC. Like, anyway, so we like raised all this money and helped all these old people and like
they've raised
built
like
a warming shelter.
Now,
yeah,
right?
It's something crazy. And just like
Speaking of Beto,
bro,
I earlier today was sitting here in my office working, and there was like a knock on the door, and I was like, first of all, who the fuck is knocking on my door? I was like, no, don't fucking knock on my door. It's a pandemic. Get out of here. Anyway, I decided to answer it. So I answered, and it's this lovely young woman, and she says, hey, I'm with Powered by the People. And I was like, that name sounds familiar. She's like, we're just like going through the neighborhoods and making sure that like people are doing okay. Do you have water? Do you have power? And I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like, thank you so much for checking on. She went on her merry way. I was like, Powered by the People. I've heard that before. Where have I heard that before? I Google it. It's Beto O'Rourke's like organization or whatever. So he has volunteers, like not just like helping people distributing stuff, like literally going house by house by house in these neighborhoods and being like, yo, you good, Holmes? Like, you need anything? You need water?
Like just checking on people. Wow.
Oh yeah,
not even asking for donations or anything like that.
That's
no.
crazy.
I mean, I live in a neighborhood that's like a bunch of old Hispanic people, so I think that's probably why that they're like making sure that like these people who may not have had access to internet or whatever are doing okay. But yeah, I think I don't know if we can. I know Eric's hanging out. Eric, are you here? Have Ted Cruz's children been dealt with yet?
Ted Cruz's evil daughters have not been dealt with. They will be dealt with swiftly when they are back from Cancun. But so far, his evil daughters are still on the loose.
God, I can't believe they did that.
I have no further information.
Who's going to control them? Who's going to control those greedy little girls?
I can't believe that that 10-year-old and that 12-year-old girl would bully their adult father into going to Cancun when his constituents are freezing when they left the dog behind.
Snowflake. His dog's name is
Snowflake.
Is that true? That
the ultimate irony.
That can't be fucking true.
I think it is. But ultimately, like it was a scary situation, and I'm glad that you're okay, Kayla.
Yeah.
I'm glad that like it's definitely changed my perspective on like how to prep for certain things.
Oh, fully.
And like become a bit of a doomsdayer.
How was your experience?
Mine was great. I mean, I got very, very lucky in terms of not. We only lost power for a few hours, and we got it back for the rest of the time. And then we were under, the boil notice or whatever. But the nice thing was that we had some friends who, I think, still today they still don't have water. I think they got power back like yesterday or maybe Saturday, so they went like the longest without it. We were able to go and pick them up. In our lesbian Subaru mobile.
Lesbaru, please. Portmanteau.
Lesbaru.
Yeah. And pick them up and like bring them over here. And so they came over with their cat and we were like camping out for a few days. And it's just like, I mean, you don't think about it, but it's definitely a traumatic situation, especially like we were very fortunate and I'm very happy that we were able to help a bunch of people and like, donated to places. And actually like before the freeze, I think on Thursday night, Hannah and I had gathered a bunch of old jackets that we had and socks and, just like stuff like warm weather stuff and went and donated it to Austin Mutual Aid. It was kind of like after we did that, like the first day when we were like out of power and we didn't think it was ever going to come back on for a while, we were like, oh shit, I kind of wish we had those socks, but like glad we at least we're inside, like, and that those socks went to good people who are like out there. And the best thing, and I think it always happens in these kinds of situations, these disaster situations, is that like, fucking Mr. Rogers said it best, like look for the helpers because there's always going to be helpers. And there were. I mean, there was like I have friends who own like a super small restaurant here in town and they literally just started feeding people. Like they were other businesses were sponsoring meals so anyone could come and grab a hot meal if they were able to get there. Like people were raising money. Austin Mutual Aid was like literally going to the camps in Austin because there's a lot of camps where unhoused people live and like knocking on tents and just being like, we have a bunch of hotel rooms, like please come with us, like you cannot survive this, it's too cold. And they were. And so it's frustrating that we have really incompetent people in government that do have the power to like do something and then they fuck off to Mexico. But then it is really just incredibly heartwarming and just like really, really great to see people just go above and beyond to help, complete strangers.
It is pretty remarkable how disasters like this really, as you said, bring out like you find some really amazing people through hardships like that, helpers specifically, but like with tragedy comes that kind of beauty of seeing like the power of people and like what people will do for each other in that kind of situation. But fuck, it was
a freaking crazy week.
Yeah.
How were you and Meg the whole week?
We lost power and then it stayed off for about 85 hours.
Yeah.
Christ.
It was freaking. I actually took a screenshot of the my thing. That was when it was minus 12. That's Celsius. For comparison, today back up to 23. Just
It's about 75 or so. 73.
It's nice out.
I think in Fahrenheit, it jumped by like 60 something degrees in a few days.
Yeah.
It was freezing. And like every plant I own is dead. It's weird because I've been in the cold before. Like, I think I've been in colder places, but I've never been so cold in my life in a place that I lived. Like,
it's because it never gets out of your body. You're just constantly cold.
Yeah.
Inside, outside, everywhere.
Like perpetual cold. And I lived in England for like 21 years, and I don't think I was ever that cold. And thankfully, I had gas. Thankfully, I had a fireplace, just keeping warm by that. And I was very lucky in my occupation in that I have a bunch of weird stuff, like to power the Phantom camera, you can buy a professional battery and it will run the camera for like 40 minutes, but it'll cost like $800 for some reason. So I just got these like camping batteries that I use out in the quarry. Mm-hmm. So I got like 6 of them. So I was actually pretty good on being able to charge our phones, and I was occasionally like powering up the internet so we could communicate with the outside world. Tried to download a little film every night on my iPad. I quickly like turn the internet on, download a film on Netflix, turn the internet off, and then we would just sit in front of my iPad just trying.
At least you had an iPad and it wasn't on the phone.
We were trying to like make it as normal as possible, like eating soup for the 4th time and watching something on the thing.
Dude, at one Fiona point was worried about you.
Was she?
Yeah.
No one else, just Gavin.
Yeah. No, well, I guess she was texting you, but she would just like, every so often, she would just be like, there's no way she'd be like, this is bad. He's the richest man I know and he doesn't have power. So that means nobody's getting power.
Hey, it's B. Barber again, here to tell you that this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is brought to you by Freshly. Feeling kind of meh and not so sure about what you want to cook for dinner? Food that's fast doesn't have to be fast food. Freshly offers quality meals without the hard work of prepping, cooking, and cleaning. Freshly offers chef-made, nutrient-packed, delicious meals delivered fresh to your door with no cooking required. Grocery shopping and cooking can be a pain, especially right now, as we all know. And with Freshly, you don't have to. Your meals arrived cooked and fresh every single week, so you can keep your fridge stocked and skip the trip to the store. Ordering is easy. Just visit freshly.com and choose from over 30 delicious, satisfying, better-for-you meals like steak peppercorn, sausage baked penne, or their chicken pesto bowl. Freshly can even fit your lifestyle with a variety of plans and meals to pick from what works for your dietary needs, preferences, tastes, and family size. And now our listeners can try Freshly for just $6.16 per meal. Stop searching the internet for healthy food near me every night and start living life freshly. Your meals are always delivered fresh, never frozen, and are ready to heat and enjoy in just 3 minutes. With new meals added each week, Freshly brings the convenience of chef-made, nutritional, designed classics right to your kitchen. Right now, Freshly is offering our listeners, that's you guys, $40 off your first 2 orders when you go to freshly.com/rooster. Stop stressing about dinner. Go to freshly.com/rooster for $40 off your first 2 orders. That's freshly.com/rooster to get $40 off your first 2 orders.
Love Fiona. Love
it was not random completely, but
it was mostly
there were
random.
Pockets all over the city that had power.
Dude, there were apartments that were split.
Yeah.
That like half had power and half didn't. It was fucked.
At one point, I boiled some water on the stove and I chucked in a little bit of water in the bath and had a little bath in about 3 inches of warm water.
I was going to ask how many trips did you make, but just one.
Yeah, well, it was a big pot. It was like one of those big stew ones. So I was
so it covered all 4 burners.
I was imagining you with like a pan of water,
a cauldron.
I just so here's what was my thinking was. I wanted to put the cold water in the bath first. I didn't want to dump boiling water in the bath because I was worried it would splash out, and then I was worried that like a cat might jump in. So I was like, I'm gonna put the cold in first, and I was like eyeing it, I was eyeballing it. I was like, That'll add up. That'll add up to warm. Then I put in my boiling water, which took like 45 minutes to boil because there was so much of it.
Oh my God.
Poured it in, messed up the ratio completely. It was way too cold, and it didn't even get like over my hip bones when I was lying down. I'm like trying to splash around and like wash all my junk and stuff and flop over, and I was freezing. And then I had to like quickly rinse off with cold water. Had no heating or anything. And then I just sat by the fire shivering for like half an hour. Just what it was like just a different level of thinking of like, oh, this sucks, to like, oh, we've got to like stay alive.
Yeah.
If we run out of food or like heat, we would have to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I was texting people throughout just to like check on them. Kayla, I don't have your number, which is why I didn't text you, I promise.
Well, it's understandable.
We'll fix that after this. But like, just to make sure people were okay. And I texted Gavin at one point. Let me find the text message. It made me laugh out loud, but I felt so horrible at the same time. I was like, you guys doing okay? He responds with, 3rd day without power. Getting used to wiping my arse by phone light.
Oh.
I was like, I laughed so hard at that, and I feel awful.
It's why I had to go for the bath, because there were unverified wipes towards the end. You can't really see what you're doing. You're hoping for the best, but there's no way of doing a good job.
Was...
Like iPhone in one hand and bog roll in the other hand. And
How
honestly,
unregulated.
I was blown away by how quickly you adjust to the situation. Like day one, I'm hitting light switches, nothing's happening. I'm like, oh yeah, the power's off. I'm trying to do stuff. It's like, oh, idiot, the power's off. Day 3, completely used to it. By the time the power came on, I did like 2 shits in the dark when I didn't need to. I was like, oh wait, the power's back. I was already used to it again. Just like, shitting in the dark. That's what I do now.
Oh, man.
When you shit in the dark, you shine your flashlight like at the toilet paper to see like how much, like what do you
like after you wipe?
You have to, yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Can't you
what's the
like?
point?
I heard there were like tricks you could do where you put a flashlight or a phone light in like either a jug or like a Tupperware container, and it helps to disperse the light over the room. Could you have done that?
I could have, yeah, if I was. I don't know. I wasn't trying to make any permanent changes. I was hoping it was going to be over a little bit sooner than it was. In the main room though, like we had some pretty serious games of like Monopoly and Mousetrap and Scrabble and stuff. Oh, did my shit cut out then?
You froze for your camera's a little choppy.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, we're playing some like Monopoly and stuff. But also, yeah, with slow-mo guys coming in handy again, I have ridiculous lights. Like, do you remember that light I had that was like the brightest flashlight in the world or something?
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, it's designed to run at like 100,000 lumens for a few minutes, but it'll run at like 700 lumens for hours. So we were just using that as like a mobile lamp. But I didn't take that into the shitter. That seemed a little bit
You blind yourself.
Yeah, I'd cook my ass.
Yeah. You blast out your cornea. Just blow it out completely.
Yeah, another thing I was getting very angry at of people being there was some woman from Star Trek who I think everyone at Rooster Teeth like jumped on and was like, go fuck yourself, because she was basically like, I don't even remember what her name was. I don't think she's acted in a while, but basically she was just like, I want to feel bad for Texas, but the mean girl in me like doesn't, because they're like a red state, which is just such an incredibly fucked up mentality to have, because first of all, no matter your political affiliation, you do not deserve to freeze to death. And there's that mentality is just so incredibly frustrating, but like, it's just such a privileged thought and such a like, oh, well, you know, they're not voting the way I want them to. And it's like, well, people are trying, but they're not allowed to in most cases. So that was super frustrating. A thing that was really another heartwarming thing. And I think a few people, I think John and Dante tweeted about it. Rooster Teeth handled this situation, I think, with such grace and such like love and support for their employees that like I was truly like not surprised by, because Jordan's a wonderful person. We're led by really, really wonderful people, but it was just very like kind of affirming to be like, oh, like this is a really great company. And they really do care, because like they kept sending out updates and being like, hey, like no one's working today. Like don't do any work. just survive. That's like what you're supposed to do today. And then I think at like Tuesday or Wednesday, Jordan was just like, no work for the week. Like, I was like,
it was nice to get those updates every day too, because like there were so many people who were just like, I don't know what I should be doing right now. I don't even know what to do to like take care of myself. And so having those updates to be like, hey, this is, what's going on today. This is the plan for tomorrow. And I think it was like Wednesday or Thursday, maybe that Wednesday night, I think, where Jordan was like, no more work for the rest of the week. Just focus on you and your family and stuff like that.
Yeah. And not only that, not only was it like, hey, don't worry about what we're doing here, but they also, I think it was Jeff Yetter basically started this like Google submission sheet where you could like submit if you needed anything, like if you needed a place to stay, if you needed food, if you needed water, like
transportation,
anything, like come and, comment here. Like, we can't promise we can, help you, but we'll try and do everything we can. And it's just like, I think mutual aid, whether it's, company driven or community driven, is so important. And I think like, just like, we're going to save ourselves, like Ted Cruz isn't going to come down in a Superman shirt.
He's not going to do shit. He didn't protect his wife. He's not going to protect us
and save us. Like AOC might, Beto might, but I think, it's just, it's really incredible to see people just like come together and be super helpful. And then I started thinking about like, I started getting really like introspective and kind of doing some deep thinking. And also just like, I used to watch The Walking Dead a lot. And so I was like, where do people hit the point where they will do anything they can to help someone? Like, where does that end? Like, where does how long does a crisis have to go on before people start like turning on each other?
I thought you were going to ask, how long does this last until people literally start becoming zombies? When you made a reference to The Walking Dead, I was like, where's this going? We were close, I think. I think maybe another day or two.
Yeah. We don't know how the virus is affected by extreme cold temperatures. So...
Well, I mean, they've had it in Canada this whole time too, so
that's fair.
Yeah. My parents aren't zombies quite yet. Also, we got to interrupt. Very important business to attend to. It's past 5:45 now, but we got to get our vote in on Kayla, guys.
We got to see if they like Kayla.
Rating out of 10. Out of 10.
What's the vibe?
What's the vibe?
What? I just vibe check.
What's my vibe?
Do we get a vote too?
Please, I need it.
I think we get to vote.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give you a 12 out of 10.
Oh, shit. That's so many. That will make up for all the -6s I get. Let's go. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure it was balanced because I'm anticipating a lot of like really low scores.
Yeah, a lot of rushes out there.
I didn't realize it was out of 10. I was just going to say yes. Can I do a yes out of 10? Like, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, sick. Okay. Mariel?
Absolutely.
I'm going to go 8 out of 10.
Okay. Room for improvement.
Like it.
Room for improvement. But that's because I feel like we know each other and we can be real with each other.
No, you're right. I believe. I agree. God, it is getting dark.
I know you just got going.
Yeah, I'm like,
Kayla had to adjust
those blinds a bit.
Her gain on her camera because she doesn't have the greatest blinds, as we found out at the beginning of the podcast. So when it was bright at 5 o'clock, which it's bright. No longer anymore, you had to adjust, and now it's just like it's failing on you.
Yeah, just look at my cat. Don't mind me.
Apollo is one of the most beautiful cats I've ever seen.
He's so handsome.
Is that
he's
cat
very handsome
behind you as well, Mariel?
Yeah, that's Cashew. She's been sleeping there for the past 6 hours.
Barbara, where's your cat?
In my pants.
Hey.
Haha, pussy Jimmy. Another one.
Just so you know, Kayla, the chat has blown up. They love you.
Aw.
I guess we should promote it then.
You passed the vibe check.
I think wildly just under appreciating you. That's all I gotta say.
Here's my handsome little boy.
Oh my god.
My handsome little boy.
So beautiful.
A massive cat. Is that a really big cat or is it just
he's real long.
Kayla's also real small.
I'm also 5'2". I don't.
Yeah.
She's small.
So Apollo, every time I see Apollo, which has been not recent, unfortunately, but I always look at him and I'm like, if I was a cat and if I was a straight cat, like Apollo is the kind of cat I would go for. He's just like, he's kind of beefy, but like kind of like a toned beefy, you know. He's
That's
just
also
like
a great name for a cat too.
He's
Apollo.
Oh my god, I got him. Okay, so there was this cat I liked at APA, but I couldn't get her because I wouldn't be able to adapt to her special needs, and I was gonna name her Artemis. And then I found Apollo, and I was like, it's a boy. I'll name it after the other the twin. And then I found out he's a Sagittarius. I know I'm not supposed to talk about astrology. He's a Sagittarius, and the sign for the Sagittarius is the arrow, and Apollo is the god of archery. And if you don't think astrology is real, then explain that.
You can't. It just works too well.
If I turn my lights on, I don't know if it's going to make it better or worse.
Try it out. Turn your lights on and then come plug your show, because clearly I think the people have spoken and they love you.
I don't know. I think we should get the poll going again now that there's been a second mention of astrology. Oh, wow.
Oh, there we go.
That's
so much better.
Okay, sick.
This episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is brought to you by ExpressVPN. So sometimes I'll look up some weird stuff for this podcast. It's, of course, not for me, but for you guys, the audience. But that's not always something I want my internet service provider to see. And I know most of you are probably thinking, why don't you just use incognito mode? Let me tell you something. Incognito mode does not hide your activity. I know. I'm shocked too. It doesn't matter what mode you use or how many times you clear your browsing history. Your internet service provider could still see every single website you've ever visited. That's why even when I'm at home, which I have been for the last year, I never go online without using ExpressVPN. It doesn't matter who your internet provider is. ISPs in the US can legally sell your information to ad companies. ExpressVPN is an app that reroutes your internet connection through their secure servers so your ISP can't see the sites you visit. ExpressVPN also keeps all of your information secure by encrypting 100% of your data with the most powerful encryption available. Most of the time, I don't even remember that I have it on. It runs seamlessly in the background, and ExpressVPN is very easy to use. All you have to do is tap one button, and you are protected. ExpressVPN is available on all your devices, phones, computers, even your smart TV. So there's really no excuse not to be using it. Protect your online activity today with the VPN rated #1 by CNET and Wired. Visit our exclusive link at expressvpn.com/rooster, and you could get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. Again, that's expressvpn.com/rooster, expressvpn.com/rooster. Go to expressvpn.com/rooster to learn more. Talk about your show.
Oh, fuck.
People have spoken.
Yeah, my show. Okay, so basically, I'm gonna give a full journey. I work in sales. A lot of my job was onboarding all of our podcast partners on the Roost, and basically it'd be every week it's just all right, this is the new show. The podcast is these two white dudes, and they've got 18 million subscribers. You've never heard of them, and they've been podcasting for 5 years. And I'm like, how does this keep happening? I would literally be looking at this. I'm like, I've never heard of these people. They have such a massive following. They look exactly like the last two white guys we just signed. So I jokingly I started doing this bit with Fiona and Zoe, where I'd talk about I'd be like, I'm going to make a podcast. I'm going to call it Two Average White Guys, but the podcast is just going to be me and not a white man. It's going to be funny. And that was my bit I would always do. And one day I was like, maybe I should actually do that. So I kind of fleshed out the idea, and it became, we were going to call it Give It To Me Straight. But legal said no for a myriad of reasons. And the joke was going to be that it was this Dude Bro podcast.
I think there was other things named that, and it was just not as
or too similar to it.
That's a great name.
Yeah,
I know,
a great name for that.
Especially with the premise being, Mark and Brad didn't show up, so now all these lesbians have to take over. Oops, all lesbians. That was my second idea. They also said no, it's fine. So
genius. Come on.
So basically, the premise of the podcast is I'm the producer for this long-running podcast that's been going on for 10 years, called No Dumb Answers with Mark and Brad, because I figured that two heterosexual white men would think that if they made a podcast that they answer questions on, they could not have any dumb answers because there were only dumb questions. And it's basically a Joe Rogan Barstool type parody, but every episode, Mark and Brad can't make it to the office for a various reason. So at the top of the show, it's hey guys, it's Kayla. I don't know what happened. Mark and Brad couldn't make it into the office today. Actually, I just got a text from them, and oh my god, it looks like a boulder fell in front of their truck, much like in a video game, as they were coming back from the mountains of Colorado. So they're not going to be able to make it to the studio today. But instead of skipping a week and you guys having to not have an episode, I gathered some people from around the office to fill in for them. So let's hope this goes well. And that's every episode. That's the bit. That's the gist. Mariel is one of the co-hosts. The other one is my wife, Zoe. She's not my real wife. She's like my emotional wife, my heart wife. And we're just going to have like Gus on from RT, maybe not from RT, to play other characters from like other podcasts at our like, it's basically the Roost, but fake. So one of the groups we have is like the Brew Boys, and it's like, and like they're like a gamer channel. And like every time we record, like they fucking cause a ruckus. So like we'll be in the middle of a recording and then you'll just hear like a crash. And it's just like, okay, it looks like during a game of extreme tabletop frisbee pong, one of the Brew Boys has accidentally busted the wall of the booth, and we're just gonna have him come and guess now, I guess, and then just have whoever that person playing that character is come and like be the guest on the episode. We're gonna have a lot of segments. My favorite thing to do is to get drunk and text Mariel like a segment idea. Like, what did I tell? You texted me like hot girl gas station. Which snacks are hot girl snacks or something like that? Like
what? Okay, asking people what their this is actually, I stole this from a friend of mine, but asking people what's their go-to convenience store snack like on a road trip, and then rating if it's a hot girl snack or not.
Yeah, love that.
It's like, is that gonna make you a hot girl or not?
Yeah. Another segment idea that I pitched to Mariel was a segment called Pleasing Daddy, where we talk about what we're watching on HBO Max. I only refer to Warner Media as Daddy. Warner Media, I only refer to, I did it I was slacking Nadia, my boss, this morning. I said, oh, Daddy's asking. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Warner Media is asking. I have to stop calling them Daddy. I'm going to say it in a meeting with an HBO person. That's going to be extremely embarrassing. Warner Media is Daddy. AT&T is Papa. The difference is important.
Very important.
So we're just going to do a bunch of like dumb segments. We're going to have a reoccurring segment called Uninformed, where I get a very like vague or like crazy topic that I'm sure no one has heard of, and I just kind of like talk them through it. On our, like, we did a pilot episode and I talked about incels, and
it was truly like one of the most educational things I've ever been a part of. Aww. Because like, here's the thing with Kayla. Kayla's hilarious, obviously. We know this. It's been proven time and time again. And finally, we are having her star shine so far and bright. But Kayla's
at least
also
12 out of 10 stars.
Like an insane person who like cannot, like, you can't just give Kayla like a thing and be like, oh, here's this thing. Like, Kayla has to know every single little thing about this thing. And then she will come and she will teach you every little thing about that thing that you learned.
Yeah. It's called... Yeah, I have. It's called having ADHD and getting hyperfixations.
So
it's just like
you're just gonna quit your job in sales?
Oh God, Nadia's watching, so no. I would never. Listen, TPG taught me you gotta stay close to the money.
You gotta stay close to the money, baby. I learned that. I learned it.
Gotta stay close to the money.
What does that mean?
Gotta stay close to the money.
You just gotta stay close to the money.
Gotta stay close to the money.
Fair enough. Okay, I understand completely.
Wait, hold on. Wait, let me do it as TPG.
I think he's in the chat. You better watch out.
You gotta stay close to the money.
And the mic, apparently, too.
I feel like there's a lot that you lose working from home, but I think the biggest thing missing from my life is the TPG interactions. Like,
dude,
discussing
I missed him.
We were having... I miss it so much. Sometimes we'll be doing a brainstorm thing, and I'll put out like an idea that isn't mediocre, and sometimes he'll just look at me and go,
"Yes."
And I just miss stuff like that so much. He'll do that, and then it'll just be like,
"Yeah, write it down." Or like, I like when you say something good, and you just, or like when he's got an idea, and he's just like, "Yeah, I got some fucking hot fuego. It's fucking fuego, dude.
Fuego. It's
fucking fuego, dude."
I don't think anyone makes analogies better than TPG.
No, he's the best.
Like we need, there needs to be a coffee table book with all the analogies he's made and like references he's made.
Can we explain who that is, by the way?
Yeah,
TPG?
Tim G, TPG, fucking the Gesling man himself. He's the goat. He's also in sales. He hired me to Rooster Teeth. Actually, he used to be my boss before. He's like a seller now, and like I'm in the account management team now. That means nothing to anyone watching this. But he used to be my boss, and like
nothing to me.
bro, yeah, it's fine. So like basically, he hired me on like 3 years ago, and he's just like his job was basically like if you've ever seen like a brand deal for Rooster Teeth, and it's like a crazy thing. Like if you went to RTX and you did like the Stuber Moonball activation, or like you're like, how the hell did Kumail Nanjiani get on like a GTA stream with Achievement Hunter? That was like his job. So yeah, he's super cool. He's like a Boston dude, and then he went to like college in like California, so he's got the most interesting accent that I now have.
He's also a gardener.
He's also a gardener, yeah.
And a dad.
He's got two sons.
A dad of two.
That are adorable. And dude, he's like, I've never seen anyone enjoy being a dad more than Tim. It's adorable, and it makes my heart melt.
I think Warner likes being a dad a little more.
Who?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
Warner's
daddy.
our daddy.
Oh yeah, Warner does like being daddy more. You're right.
There was one time, this was back when I used to work in broadcast, so this was a few years ago. I remember TPG came up to me, and I like didn't know him that well, but that's when I decided I loved him forever. And he was just like, "Have you ever thought about doing an RT podcast on the moon?"
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
What?
I like the thinking that happens before saying the idea too is classic.
I liked him immediately because I feel like my relationship with sales was never anything special. We'd like do a deal and then it would be over, or we'd have like some sort of drunken meal at wherever we were shooting. But then TPG started, and he was just like, "Hey, you want to hang out? You want to like get a beer or something?" I was like, "Damn, yeah." No one ever asked me to go out for drinks. They just, I don't know, assume I don't want to or something. But yeah, we just hung out, and like he's probably my newest friend at Rooster Teeth.
Oh,
yeah.
You became friends quite a while ago. You got to make friends more often,
yeah.
Gav.
I guess the point where it's a lot of effort. You have to like sack off an old friend to make room for a new one.
Gavin has his top 8.
Yeah.
Okay, Barb. If he's gonna add another one, he has to take someone off.
Yeah,
I think Gavin, we've been friends for like what 20 years at this point. You could trade me out if you need to.
I'd say actually Fiona's a new friend.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Fiona.
like it started off as like a pretend friendship, and now I text her more than anyone else probably in my entire phone.
Aw. Dude.
Yeah, she didn't text you to see how you were doing during the blackout.
We have like bursts of texting.
Okay.
We'll
Also, to be fair, we had no power.
True.
It was rough. Or Wi-Fi. It's fine. Well, it was one day we had power and no Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. Yeah. I met Fiona. So basically, I remember one time Lewis came in the office. Lewis used to do this thing where he'd come into the sales office, because I guess technically he worked with us. And he'd just come to my desk and he'd put his feet up on my desk and he'd be like, "All right, I need your opinion." And he pulled out his phone and he just started showing me like female Twitch streamers. And he was like, "I think I'm going to hire one of these girls to be on Achievement Hunter." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Let me see." And we were going through them, and I was like, "Oh, I know this streamer. Like, she's super cool. Oh, I know that cosplayer. She's super cool." And he showed me Fiona, and I was like, "Oh, she sucks." Like, no, I was like, "Oh, she looks super cool, but like, I would never talk to her." And he was like, "Why?" And I was like, "I don't know. She seems like really pretty, and like, I feel like she might be mean to me." And then I think it was the RT like anniversary party. I was like a little like tipsy off the hard seltzer in the Stage 5 kitchen. Everything happens in the Stage 5 kitchen. And I was trying to get like a little snacky snack and some water to like make myself a lot less tipsy because I had to go back to work. And she was sitting alone in the kitchen eating the tiny bag of like Famous Amos cookies. And she had on the whitest shoes I had seen in my entire life. And I walked up to her and I was like, "Dude, your shoes are so fucking bright right now." And then we fell in love, and like now we're married, and it's great.
It's a beautiful friendship.
Yeah, it's I love her so much.
Fiona is the best.
Fiona is the best.
I don't think there's a single person at Rooster Teeth who doesn't love Fiona. She's like everyone's sister / wife / daughter / everything.
Oh, fully. She's a whole package.
Yeah.
Your sister, daughter, wife.
Do you want us to like give you a moment to like talk about her for a little bit?
I don't. How much time do we don't have time for me to talk about?
She's gonna start crying.
I will start crying. One time I was just like thinking about feet. There's a point in the panty where everything was like on super lockdown. Everybody was like super afraid, as opposed to now where we're all just eating open faced in restaurants. Apparently that's a thing now. And I missed her so much. I would just like play episodes of Gmod while I was working so I could hear her voice. Because I missed her so much. Like, and we were still fully hanging out on Zoom like once a week, but I was just like, it's not enough. We used to hang out all the time. We would get BBQ.
I didn't realize how much I missed her little face when we went back to not that I ever like squeeze her face or anything. It's just nice to see her.
It's
nice to see her real head in real life.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it for like months, and then we did Extra Life, and it was. I'm so excited to see people's faces again.
Me too.
I can't bloody wait.
We're coming up on a year. Fellas,
that's crazy.
Like March is in a few days. That was also like last month to me. Did
you see what I posted on my Instagram where I fired up Animal Crossing for the first time?
Oh no!
Since like May, and my mailbox had mail in it, and you know how you could send a little letter to yourself in the future.
Yeah,
it was tragic. I'd written to myself in May, dear future Gav, I hope you're not still stuck at home with COVID or quarantine or whatever from past Gav. And I read it, I was like, oh, that's sad, isn't it?
You broke down and sobbed in the fetal position. Dude, I think the most fucked up thing, like timeline-wise about the panty thing that I've heard a friend say is Zoe. She said, it was a couple weeks ago, she was like, I've been working from home longer than I ever worked in the office.
No.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. Because we hired her in like, isn't that crazy?
She hasn't been here for 2 years then. I for sure thought she'd been here.
No, she just feels like she's been here forever because she feels like she's been a part of me.
That's true.
Same energy, one brain cell between the two of us. It's tragic.
That's your heart wife, right?
Yeah. They're both my heart wives.
Who's your work wife then?
Zoe is also my work wife.
Okay.
Yeah. And
what am I?
Yeah. What are you?
What's Meryl?
You're my very young mother. I call you and Hannah. I call Hannah like Mama H all the time.
That's true. I think you have her in your phone as that. I think we did take on especially right before the pandemic hit, we were all gathering to be gay and watch not the real L Word.
L Word Generation Q.
L Word Generation Q.
Yeah.
And it really was like we were our hens in our hen house, and we had all of our little chickies coming and being gay together, and maybe one day we'll all have that was like again. But
that was the best 12 weeks of my life, or however many however many episodes that was, because it was like every Sunday I'd be like going to Mariel's house. How are we carpooling? Am I going to drive? Is Zoe going to drive? Is Fiona going to drive? How are we going to get there? Who's going to be there? Snacks, drinks, and then it's like the show ended, and then we were like, yo, this show airs in March, so we can get back to it, and then the panty happened, and it was just like,
yeah,
yeah. I've made the mistake.
I'll be a mom.
I've made the mistake of watching a bunch of travel vlogs in my downtime because it's that's something I miss the most in the last year of not doing. I regret it so much. Mm-hmm. I can't stop watching them, but I'm just this is making me so depressed because this looks.
Wait, is it people currently traveling?
It's this couple, Kara and Nate. I watch them the most. Mm-hmm. They have a whole vlog series of them going to 100 different countries. Okay. And it's really fascinating because they cover everything, the airport lounges, different hotels, different experiences in terms of really cheap ways to travel and also really nice ways of traveling. So you get kind of the whole spectrum of things. But currently, the last year they've been doing a van tour. So they just bought a van and essentially have been traveling around that way. So very interesting, but also makes me I didn't realize how much I would miss being on an airplane until I watched 100 videos of people on airplanes. And I'm like,
Barbara, I will say aesthetically, you could absolutely be a van life vlogger.
Oh yeah.
Like it's extremely believable. Like I'm looking like at your beanie and your hair right now, and I'm just like, if you literally like just like green screened like a fucking like Airstream behind you, I'd be like, yeah, no, I'll watch this content. Oh, you lofted the bed in there? That's sick. Oh, your bookshelves are also steps up to the loft. Love it. I watch a lot of tiny home shows.
You're convincing me. You're making me want to do this because I watch this and I go, I could be a travel vlogger. This looks incredible.
I'm gonna pitch it. I'm gonna pitch it. It's fine.
Bar goes. We almost did. We tried.
We almost did.
Would you bring your little hip wiggler thing that you got? Would you bring that with you on your travels? Or was that thing like an ankle thing? What the goddamn was that thing?
What?
I was trying not to talk about it this podcast because I got shit on by the comments of spending my own money on something that I wanted to buy.
How dare you?
Wait, what was it?
I bought something. It's
now
you might have whatever. It's called the Chi Machine.
Okay.
Meryl and Kayla, have you guys heard about this?
No, I have not. I don't think I'm rich enough. Right, go on.
I won't get too much into it because I talked about it last week and people didn't like me talking about this. But it's a machine where you lie down and you put your ankles into it and it moves your ankles back and forth, and there's variable speeds that you could choose from, but it does a number of things. It like realigns your spine, it loosens up kind of various joints and whatnot. It helps drain your lymphatic system.
Sure.
It helps, elevate your feet, which is good for you too. Yeah. A number of different benefits. And I was talking about it last week and I got shit on because it's not a cheap product. Yeah. And I also am like, I am going to see if there's any benefits for me. Why not? Mm-hmm. It sounds interesting.
Barbara,
what's it like being part of the 1%?
You are a bad bitch. You make your own money. You deserve to spend it however you want to spend it. But let me ask you, do you have it now?
I do have it.
I do want to see it.
I'm looking at it. I Googled it. I'm looking at it. Okay. Do you think if this is how my brain works. I saw this and I was like, how could I recreate this with no money? Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, if I were to place my ankles in two pairs of butt cheeks. So like how this thing is set up, right? It's set up so you
pairs.
Yeah, so like they sit wedged in between the cheeks, right?
Yeah.
So you got like
I can see
heel to anus.
Yeah. And then whoever it is just gives me a little
wiggle
for a few, a little wiggle for about I don't know how long it runs, maybe 20 minutes or so.
Yeah. Hashtag circles by Megan Thee Stallion.
I wonder if you could get the kind of the same.
I bet you could do it with
you could even get some more tension squeezing.
Yeah.
Barbara, do you have a bad back?
I do.
You
wouldn't have guessed it based off the way I'm sitting like the fucking hunchback of Notre Dame in my chair. Huh?
Yeah, I've been fucking hunched over. You know that not you directly, but you through Trevor's Trevor, I was telling Trevor about how shit my back was because when I was stuck at my parents' house, all I had was an $8 wooden IKEA chair to sit on at my desk for a month, and it fucked me up so bad because my back is already bad. I have a herniated disc. I have many ailments. And he was like, "Oh, Barb actually just got this like chirp wheel thing," and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm buying it." Which also awesome. You can pay for it with your flexible spending account or your HSA. So technically, not out of pocket, untaxed money. It's free real estate.
Wait, is that the one where you pop your back on?
Oh yeah, dude. Hold on.
Yeah, it's a wheel, so it essentially operates like it's perfectly width-wise, the width between your shoulder blades of your back. So it sits between your shoulder blades, and you just kind of roll back onto it. And it's such a nice stretch. There comes in 3 different sizes. I'm not selling this.
Does it pop your back?
Every time.
Every time. I've never felt like a deeper back pop. Like the big one pops at the least, and the small one is like the deepest like back popping you can get.
I need that.
And it's so good.
Like tensions based off the size. So yeah, the small one.
Kayla, I'm gonna need you to link me because I also have a bad back. It was recently my birthday on Friday last week. And thank you. I'm a hot 29. Never thought I'd live to see the day. Here I am, 29 years old. And one of the greatest gifts I've ever gotten.
To Mariel.
Oh, thank you.
To Mariel. Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love. One of the greatest gifts I've ever gotten. Hannah was like, okay, for your birthday, since we can't go anywhere, we can't do anything, I'm going to give you a 90-minute massage. And I finagled that, and I was like, hold on. I love this idea, but I want to make the most out of this. Can I get 2 45-minute massages? Like, one on one day, one on the other. And she was like, oh, absolutely. So I already got one and it was amazing. So I'm going to get my second one. But do you guys are you massagers with your partners? Are you what's like the situation there? Because we always do a thing that we like to call 69, which is we will rub each other's feet while
I don't need to know
TV. That's our definition of it. Or we will do timers. So like we'll set it, we'll watch a show for 20 minutes. I'll rub her back for 20 minutes. She'll rub my feet and we switch. But it's just something so beautiful about like a mutual, like, okay, like you scratch my back, I will literally scratch yours right back. Yeah,
we don't really like spend a lot of time massaging each other because we have a hypervolt, so we'll just do that on each other, since it's like I have such weak hands that my fingers get really tired after massaging for a long time. Trevor, though, if I have a headache, which I often do because of my shitty, terrible posture and back, he'll rub.
Also, you're staring at a screen all day.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors.
It's a lot. That's why I need my chi vitalizer. But my 2 butt cheeks that I shake my feet in.
Yeah.
He will get my traps for me. Like he'll massage those nice and deep, and he is very good at that. And my headache will go away in like a minute of that.
Yeah.
I often don't need a lot, just that.
So, Mario, now that you have 45 minutes left, do you think, just to make it last, you'll split it into 2 sessions within that, or are you going to go for a full 45?
No, because I like my feet getting rubbed. I used to hate foot rubs because my feet were always so ticklish, but for some reason, I don't know if it's Hannah or if it's like what it is, but my feet have gotten like way less ticklish. And so I broke it up into 45 so I could get 15 minutes of my back and then 15 minutes on each foot. And we even went to Target and got massage oil, because don't do it with lotion, you guys. Don't massage with lotion. It pills, doesn't feel great. Massage.
Correct answer.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I need something to warm my freaking hands up. My hands are too cold to do a good job.
Gavin. Oh, you meant for massages. I thought you meant in general.
I have to, like, if I'm going to get involved in that, I got to like sit on my hands for like 10 minutes and then they feel weird. It's not ideal.
They go all numb, then it's like a stranger's giving her a massage.
And then you get jealous of yourself.
Yeah, I'm like, why don't you like it when I'm doing it?
I'm just imagining you with limp hands trying to give a massage.
I'm just like slipping on oil all over myself.
What else do you get for your birthday, though, Meryl? Anything else other than your split massage?
I got the sunshine, which I was super excited about, after all of that. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't like it. So my family usually always gets together because my older brother's birthday is the day after mine. Mm-hmm. And on my birthday is my parents' anniversary. So we usually all meet up and, have a big celebration together. So we weren't able to do that. Hopefully we can soon. But, I need to make my list because I stole this idea from Josh Flanagan years ago, where every birthday he makes a list of things that he wants to accomplish for that year and that amount of like whatever age he's turning, he makes a list
like
of that.
30 things for 30.
Right. And so
but for Josh Flanagan, it'd be like 50 things. For 50.
It's like, oh my gosh. Speaking of that, I sent a picture to Nadia this morning because I went to HEB super early this morning to see if I can get some groceries. And there was this man in line behind me who literally looked like Josh in like 60 years, like just the most beautiful, like long white hair and beard. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's Josh. But so like it's kind of because I had my like 28 list and I was like, oh, I'm going to do all of these things. Like, and there are certain things that I have on here that I was able to do. But at the same time, there were so many things that were like contingent on traveling or like doing something. Like one of them was like eat at a Michelin star restaurant.
No.
I didn't get to do at 28.
Have you tried caviar?
I haven't tried caviar.
The app.
Maybe I can do that.
They deliver like fancy restaurant food to you.
Oh, no, I'll look into that.
Yeah, I scammed them one time.
How'd you do that?
About that eventually on another.
No, I want you to finish first.
Oh, I mean, and just like, well, there are certain things like visit a new state was one of them, and we were able to take a road trip. We went all the way up to like Wyoming, back in September, and so there are some things, and like I didn't even finish this list, so now, like, going into 29, I have to make my new list and like make it, I guess, for a COVID world, because who knows. One of the things on that list was get engaged. I did do that, so that was dope.
Damn, girl.
But you know, so I don't know if you guys have any cool ideas of what I should accomplish on my 29th year of
get married.
Let me know. That's true. I will be doing that at some point.
You could go to Wyoming again.
Ooh, never done that before.
Okay. You go to Wyoming twice. I'm sure it's on no one's bucket list.
Oh yeah, you get there and you see the sign. And you're like, oh, I'm in Wyoming, and then we just left Wyoming immediately.
And check.
Bye.
Yeah. All right, we're done. Fuck. Oh, also,
we need to get a better plug for that podcast.
Yeah, I looked at the Discord and like Eric told me to do something, and then I was like, oh fuck, the moment has passed, so I just didn't acknowledge it.
Wait, what did he now you gotta bring it up.
He said, hey,
when is it premiere? What's it called? Where can people listen?
I didn't say the name. Oh, you're right, I only said the old names. That's my bad. I said anyway. Okay, when does it premiere? March 3rd on the Rooster Teeth website and wherever you can download podcasts. And it's called No Dumb Answers with Mark and Brad.
You guys you're killing me.
Mm-hmm.
You're killing me.
What do you mean? Oh no, we're killing it.
It has taken so long to get the name of this podcast. If you're an audio listener, you're just going, well, I guess I'll look for.
No.
Like, what's it? Give it to me straight.
No,
one has any idea. Luckily,
hear me out.
I thought ahead, and I've put a link to where you can subscribe in the description of this episode of the podcast. So
you're a damn
when you
genius.
get this far, you can just click on that link.
Speaking of Eric's disembodied voice, if you do listen to the podcast, you may actually no, you won't hear it on the podcast, but you will hear it on the socials. Please follow the socials there at Ask Mark and Brad at twitter.com. I think that's probably wrong, but I think it is. No, it is, because I was very shocked that two men named Mark and Brad hadn't already started the podcast. At Twitter.com. It's like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm doing it like Tumblr. You know, on Tumblr you do your blog name .tumblr.com. Whenever I do Twitter, I do the same thing, but I say at and then .twitter.com because I'm so used, because I was on Tumblr for 12 years. Anyway, the podcast is called No Dumb Answers with Mark and Brad. It comes out on March 3rd, wherever you find podcasts, but mostly the Rooster Teeth website. Please go to the Rooster Teeth website. And I think it's going to be funny. I think I'm kind of funny. I don't know. You guys tell me. I'm going to paste the @ in the chat. That's the wheel.
You just wasted the chirp wheel link.
I pressed copy on Discord.
She literally just sent me that because I was like, yo, send me that wheel link. I need it. My back is a mess.
Well, now we have a sponsor for the first episode.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
You work in sales. Get them to sponsor your podcast.
You know, I pitched a really good idea today about sponsorships that I don't think is ever going to come to fruition. And I think that's like terribly depressing, but like, it's fine. No one listens. No one listens to me.
I listened and I said it was a great idea.
Yeah. Alan quickly changed the subject.
But go listen. You can't watch it. Go listen. Kayla is so hilarious to be a part of this show and do it. And you can go and watch it or listen to it wherever you.
If you want
to quit sales, you're gonna quit.
Oh man, you're gonna get me in trouble. I have my review tomorrow at 11 a.m. Please don't do this to me.
Nadia's just gonna clip that part of Gavin.
She's gonna clip that part and fire me. If actually, if you want to get like a sneak peek, me and Fiona are gonna go live on Twitch on Friday and talk about some stuff. And maybe promote the podcast, and maybe drink an unhealthy amount of seltzer in a 1 to 2 hour period.
There you go.
So if you want to do that, you should follow her. If you want to link to the podcast, I'm not at 10K followers on Instagram, so I couldn't put a swipe up, but Mariel did. So if you go to her Instagram story and you swipe up, you can subscribe to the Spotify feed. I may have also tweeted, my pinned tweet might have a link to the podcast. If not, it has the name of it.
And what's your Twitter handle?
Oh, my Twitter, I am at @the_indoor kid. One time I forgot the underscore and I told people to follow me and I felt like an idiot.
You've remedied that. Don't worry.
Yeah. Some other dude was probably like, what the fuck? Who are all these people?
Will you also be pinning the chirp wheel to your Twitter?
Yeah, I will be. I will be changing my bio picture to a chirp wheel.
This has been such a good episode of the podcast with the absolute worst plugs for anything.
What are you talking about?
That was like pulling teeth. That was like pulling teeth to get your Twitter, to get the name of the podcast.
You're on no dumb phase answers. Too.
Oh my god,
he's really in for it with face. But I think the calls to action were utter dog shit. Let's be honest. But the description of what the podcast was, I thought was really good. Like that's the most in-depth description of a podcast. I'm going to listen to it because of that. I don't know what it's called.
It's a journey. No dumb answers with Mark and Brad. Yeah. There we go.
NDA.
Fun story. This logo, when I was trying to describe to our design team what I wanted, I said I want it to look like one of those fancy DR brands that advertises to you on Instagram. And she said, say no more.
That looks exactly that's spot on.
I was like, I want it to look like a Quip toothbrush landing page. But yeah.
Hey, make what you know. Make what you know, baby.
Make what you know. That's all I know is DR, baby. I'm in sales.
Stay close to the money,
baby. Stay close to the money.
Meryl, do you feel guilty at all for cheating on Always Open?
Barb, listen, I never. Here's the thing. I honestly was like, I'm done. I mean, people have been saying like, "Oh, Mariel's back" or whatever. It's not like I took a hiatus or anything. I stopped doing content. Just mostly my job changed. I just needed like a change of pace. I so miss doing stuff with Barbara. We actually did it. I don't know if that's coming out anytime soon. That video that we did.
It's coming out probably in a couple weeks. We did Guess Who? With all of our coworkers as the characters on the board, and Meryl was our guest along with Andy Cortez on that episode, and it was really fucking fun.
That's a fun show.
Super fun.
Yeah.
And here I am. I never, you should never say never, because I really didn't think I would ever be doing a podcast, or at least like not in like a host capacity again.
Yeah.
So here we go. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I asked you for a solid, and you said yes before I asked you what it was. So that's completely on you.
That's true. That is true. I did agree to. I would do anything for Kayla. No questions asked. No questions. No dumb answers.
No dumb answers.
That's a good way to be. Well, you could check out the show starting March 3rd. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we close out, or should we call it a podcast?
I would like to say that the harrowing week that I had last week was the third time I've been trapped in a snow situation that was awful in a place that does not get snow. That was my third time.
It's no good.
What was the first two?
What a beautiful
do you guys remember the snowpocalypse in Atlanta when a lot of people were making fun of Georgians for not being able to drive home in 2 inches of snow, and the whole city being shut down for 2 weeks because of the snow that happened, and everybody was dragging us and was like, haha, you guys are so dumb. It's just an inch of snow. What the fuck is up? I feel like Texas was especially mean to us, but that's fine. That's neither here nor there. But third time that's happened to me. Twice in Georgia, once here.
Oh my God. Well, maybe you're bad luck. Maybe you should move away from Texas. So I should just move
somewhere hot, cold. Apparently, it's like just haven't happened there.
Very scary preview of our future. Just like crazy weather, energy shortage, food shortage. We got to do something.
Tank Girl Mad Max shit. Have you watched? I'm sorry. Last thing. Has anyone recently watched Mad Max, the one with Tom Hardy?
Yeah, I watched it like a week ago.
Okay, I did too. I watched 2 weeks ago. Okay, high five. Here's the thing about that movie. When I feel like the first time I watched it, I was in high school, and I was just like, "Oh, this is so cool!" And the message just I feel like 90% of the time the message just went over people's heads, because I was like, I don't remember this movie having a message the first time I watched it. I just remember Tom Hardy being cool, and Charlize Theron being cool, and Zoe Kravitz being there. And this time I was like, oh, it's like a commentary. That's neat. Because the first time I was just like, ew, Morton Joe's gross, and that dude from Skins keeps spraying spray paint in his mouth, and that's weird. Yeah. But this time I was like, oh no.
When his face and throat gets ripped out at the end. Spoiler.
Yeah. Fun. It was gross, but cool. Still cool. That one's not so much as a commentary. It's just a cool scene that still holds up. Hey.
I haven't watched that since it came out, which was what, 2000?
I think it's 2015. I enjoyed it a lot better the second time, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think it's on HBO Max.
Hey.
Daddy!
Pleasing Daddy.
Maximum.
Well, we're still going to be recording a post show right after this, so I'm sure we'll talk about a whole lot more shenanigans. But thank you guys all so much for joining us. Again, check out No Dumb Answers starting March 3rd, wherever you find your podcasts, and on roosterteeth.com. Kayla, Mariel, Gavin, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Audience, thank you for being here, for being beautiful, for being lovely. Thank you, First members, for supporting the show. And also, one last thing before we go, we are raising money for a few organizations. If you go to roosterteeth.com/donate, I am blanking on the actual organization. Here we go. NAACP Legal Defense Fund and the Austin Area Urban League. We're raising money all this month. Only a couple days left. So if you please go to that link and donate what you can, that would be wonderful. And thank you guys. We will see you later.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.